Hello, everyone. This is Dan Gramza, and welcome to Advanced Gramza Market Studies for Wednesday, January 2nd. Let's start here with the S&P. Let me just blow that up for you a little bit. And while I'm doing that, let's also discuss what's been going on. What is causing this increase on the positive side of volatility here in these markets? Well, there's a few things. Let's start first with just the overall view. The main thing is that we're seeing potential or discussion of a resolution in Washington. Now, you and I talked about this a while ago, is that with so much political capital at stake, it's hard to imagine that some resolution would not be arrived before this fiscal cliff. But we're not there yet, and it hasn't been agreed to, so we have a few more things that need to be taken care of. But it looks like it's headed in the right direction. The result is we're seeing this kind of follow through. Also, China. Let's talk about our friends in China for a minute. Their manufacturing PMI came out 51.5. It's risen the last 4 months, and if you think about China and that economy, it was just about a year ago, China was saying, we think we're growing a little too fast. We should slow down. And so their market did start to slow down, and everybody says, oh my gosh, the market's slowing down. Well, they said they wanted that to happen. But we've also seen their efforts in terms of making change. And this is one indicator that we could look at to say that's a good barometer for their marketplace. It's at 51.5. And if you're above 50, that's a sign of expansion. It's a positive sign. So they're headed in the right direction. If we think about Europe, from Europe to China, actually, many countries and Japan, many countries have said they want to take steps to, have economic growth. So those are all positive things that we have going into this year-end action that we're seeing. So, stock indices. The issue is going to be, and we're not going to see all of it because of the markets open up early at 5 o'clock in the morning Chicago time on Wednesday. So it's not going to be so much the Asia effect, how it absorbs this news, depending on what happens, because that's where it always begins. We're going to see that, but where we're really going to see it demonstrated, it's going to be in the European time zone. So waiting to see how that starts out. That'll set the tone for us. We could have a dramatic move as this euphoria of that there could be something very positive heading towards this way in terms of the economy. So that is what I'm looking for on Wednesday. We wouldn't expect a big move, but Wednesday we have a lot of potential to create that. When it comes to the currencies, the euro relatively quiet, a sideways type move, no strong movement. I am looking for a move to the upside. That is my bias for these currencies, except for Mr. Yen. So I'm looking for a move here to the upside. Same for our friend the Swissy. That's also relatively quiet in terms of yesterday's action. But for Wednesday, we are looking for follow through to the upside. Japanese yen, I'm looking for continued downward pressure in that market. Nothing telling us to be a buyer if you're trading here at the futures, or if you're now long dollar yen, which is what we'd have in the cash market, the most typical cross or currency rate that we would look at. There we are looking for continuation to the upside. Now, Aussie dollar. We got a little push here to the upside. That's good, right? The difference here is 31 ticks. The new bearish level here for that market, for the Aussie dollar, is 102.75, and the bullish level here for this market is 103.42. Now, here's the tricky bit with this. Is it headed in the right direction? Yes. But we've taken out these shadows, and look at this size of move. Not a good sign for us. And we're still inside the benchmark candle. So it's troublesome. I'm bullish on this market. But the kind of feedback that we're getting from this is not real encouraging. And so I think we need to be cautious on the buy side. If this is true that buyers are here, then Wednesday and Thursday of this week, we need to see their footprints. We need follow through. And if we don't get that, we are looking for a sideways to lower type market. So the Aussie dollar is at a very critical junction. British pound, that's a step in the right direction too. Not a terrific one, but again, next 2 days we need to be trading and closing towards that 163.40. That would be the right rhythm and the right size of moves. The bullish level here in the British pound is 162.05. Canadian dollar, the difference here between that bearish level and bullish level is 80 ticks. The bullish level here in this market is at 1.0057. The new bearish level here is 1.0008. Now, this should be rocking and rolling, just like our stock market is. But we're finding some apprehension here. They're not totally convinced. And Wednesday, if buyers are here, we see it Wednesday. That, in other words, this market should be getting stronger, closing towards that 101 level. So right now, it's a lukewarm type move. Interest rates, well, even the short end of the curve firmed up a tad bit. Nothing too dramatic, but I think right in line with what's going on. And the notes and the bonds, see how they behaved? That's right on target. We don't have anything here unusual. The difference here is only 5 ticks in the notes. The bullish level in that market in the notes was at, yeah, no, that's the way we should leave that. The bullish level previously in this market was at 132.14, and the bearish level here was 132.19. So we are now looking for follow through to the downside. This is a previous level here. Ignore that level here for the notes, but the next buy level, because we got to be prepared for that, for this market, is 132.25. 132.25 is the bullish level here for that market. I don't see that happening anytime soon, because I'm looking for those that buying that we're seeing in the stock market to continue. Now, British pound bonds, the sell level here for that market is 147.14. And right now we are looking for follow through. Not necessarily a super dramatic move when it comes to Wednesday's action. It really goes back to the stock market. And I think that's going to go back to the European time zone in terms of what we're going to see on the future side, and what we can get a glimpse of when it comes to the cash in Asia. Now let's move on and let's take a look at the gold market. Moved up, that was taken out. See how it's taken out these shadows? That's definitely a step in the right direction. It's I'd say a pretty good healthy move. The right kind of move, I thought we'd be around 63, 64. That would have been perfect. But this is good, and we are looking for follow through to the upside, not in a dramatic way though. All right, and the bullish level here in that market, 1663. If we look at silver, the bullish level in that market is at 30.41. We've come through it, but we haven't gotten strong follow through in that market yet. Wednesday is going to be important, and we're not going to get much for the rest of this day today, but we are looking for it on Wednesday. Copper firmed up. If the stock market's moving well, this market should move well, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for kind of a rest day today in that market for Wednesday, but again, the bias is for a push to the upside. In the energy market, crude oil gets pulled to the upside again because of the dollar's weaker. So we're seeing this market move up a bit, and that makes sense. It's not unusual behavior. $92. We found sellers here before. But this is a market moving on expectations, so we could get a little bit more follow through to the upside. Again, I don't believe in a strong rally here uh, being sustainable, but it is going to get pulled along right now because of general market expectations. Natural gas, relatively quiet so far, but keep an eye on this market. Natural gas, these price levels have changed a lot of things. And I just want to give you an example of that. A third of natural gas consumption, as you and I have talked about, is in the power generation area, and then another third is used to produce steel, chemical. Well, right now, with these prices where they are, there's at least 5 new steel plants being built in the United States, and they're going to be using natural gas. It's not like we don't have any capacity here. The U.S. steel industry, the utilization's around 74%, so we have excess capacity here. But there are, other countries outside the United States building steel plants here because of this lower gas prices. The chemical industry is also increasing. If you look at some of those companies, or fertilizer companies also are benefiting from this lower price for natural gas. So we're going to see a lot of activity surrounding this marketplace, I think, in the coming years. So long term, I'm still bullish this market. Near term, we have some mild weather coming around, and that's what we're seeing reflected in these prices. Again, right now it's primarily a weather market and supply. So, if we look at grains, they're waiting for information. Beans, that's what it's saying to us. It's saying, well, the bias here, I think, if you look at the structure of it, very neutral in that respect. Here's your longer term benchmark candle. Near term has a bullish bias to it, but it really comes to what comes out of, South America. Corn did firm up a bit here. The bullish level there is 697. If we look at wheat, this is a straight line 3. It's a Dan thing. It is bullish, and I am looking for follow through, and I'm looking for it this week. The key is to get above the midpoint of this benchmark candle right here. The key to that is going to be Wednesday. Ideally, Wednesday it takes off, cuts above, and closes above that midpoint. Thursday takes out the high. That would be the right type of movement. If we take longer to do that, then we have a chance of going sideways to lower. So how we move in the next few days, I think, in wheat is going to be important to us. Soybeans and corn, they need some more info. Well, and I got to tell you, Wednesday we're going to take that longer term look. We're going to look at some yearly charts because we're at the end of the year, or monthly charts to give us that longer term perspective. Looking forward to doing that with you. Well, have an absolutely wonderful new year. Again, best wishes to you and your families. Looking forward to 2013 and sharing ideas with you. Thank you for taking your time to spend with me. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to our paths crossing again in 2013. And in the meantime, take care.